stuff is fed to the lions. Yeah, okay. And understand that these socialists are doing nothing different than what the Romans did. This is for the very same reasons. They're acting just like the pagans did. There's nothing different. Your thoughts, Thaddeus?
Yeah, well, maybe we just figured out how all violence is caused by religion. You see, if an atheist kills a Christian, it's because of their religion. Therefore, it's religious violence. If the Roman government kills a Christian because they're a Christian, that is religious violence. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My brain, good grief. Now, the Jacobin effort to do away with Christianity and build a society based on rational thought ended in extreme violence. The Jacobins were not unique. Now, this is from Dr. Michael Burleigh, historian at the Hoover Institution, Stanford. And Burleigh points out that societies which have rejected God have not escaped mankind's violent nature, because these people do not understand human nature. If you subtract God and the notion of an afterlife, then there's a real risk in the political utopianism so deadly in the 20th century that you will attempt to create heaven on earth, go for a quick fix in the here and now, to have the arrogant illusion that you can remake man and woman into some sort of new being, and that invariably results in hell for ordinary people. Oh, and while we're here, I need to have a look at this guy. You may have heard of this guy called Dawkins. Okay, the case for militant atheism, and this is a talk given by a guy called Richard Dawkins. And Richard Dawkins went on TED and he had a screed about we need militant atheism. There's no room for a God in the world as he sees it. He believes atheists should be forceful in opposing religion. Doesn't it say in the Quran that the believers should be forceful against the unbelievers? I believe the Quran says that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So yeah, he believes that atheists should be forceful. Now I believe Robespierre, and sorry, and yeah, well, him too, but Voltaire had a lot to say like this. If you love the poetry of Percy Bysshe Shelley, go look at his. Oh man, the guy was an atheist extraordinaire. The man was virulently atheist. Okay, Percy Bysshe Shelley was incredibly atheist. Thank you very much for the donations. I really appreciate it. There was one earlier, and I didn't say thank you for that, and I do appreciate it. Yeah, guys, I've been away from because I've been researching. I have a lot of research. I have a lot of stuff to get through. There's a huge. I've already done over 100 slides. I've got two presentations finished. I've got one that's almost finished. I've got a couple that are starting and ready. There's a lot to unpack here, but you'd be shocked to see. I mean, we're gonna. I mean, seriously, the case here is so strong. So that's good old Dawkins for you. Remember, this is Dawkins and militant atheism. Atheists must aggressively fight. Okay? And then others have wondered whether his strident approach could do more harm. Well, we've seen the harm that it does. So thanks, Richard. So, and this effort to remake man results in hell for ordinary people. Yeah, that is your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny hearing Dawkins say, we gotta use violence if necessary to instill atheism. That'll solve all the problems of
Of
violence in
violence.
the world.
Yeah, you got to wonder about that. So let me see how far we're going to go down this road because, yeah, I got to see now. Okay, yeah, we have that. Yeah, we're going to see, guys. Audience, should I continue or should I call it at 2 hours? The question's up to you. Because we actually the numbers watching have actually increased, so that's great. Guys, do we so okay? Marxist utopia based on reason. So Marx is a well-known secular humanist as well as atheist, of course. Now, notice everyone says it's the opium of the people, but you've got to look deeper into what was said. Now, religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature. It is the heart of a heartless world and the soul of soulless conditions. It is the opium of the people. But notice Robespierre tells us that look, you can't give man nothing. You got to give them something. So they made up a religion to give people
Hmm.
because they actually want the religion. Their souls need to be fed by something. Right. So now, and he says in communist societies, it's possible for me to do one thing today and another tomorrow. To hunt in the morning, fish in the afternoon, rear cattle in the evening, criticize after dinner, just as I have a mind without ever becoming hunter, fisherman, herdsman, or critic. We'd get to explore all the different parts of ourselves, our creativity, our intellect, our gentleness, and our ferocity, and everyone would have a bit of time to do philosophy. Remember when I opened with the Congresswoman? That's exactly the same sentiment expressed by the pagans 2,400 years ago. Marx is returning us to paganism. Thank you, Nicholas. I so appreciate it. Yeah, I saw the Aquinas just war theory. Actually, that's outside the scope of this and the upcoming talks that I have in mind. But yeah, the Aquinas just war theory. Yeah, that's obviously the thing is, look, Jesus was not a warrior. Jesus did not preach any kind of violence. But do understand that government is something that is required, even by the New Testament, right? We have to have courts, we have to have justice, and also for you to stand aside when people are being killed, that is sinful. You are not doing anything to head off evil, right? You're not taking responsibility for dealing with that, and therefore, if you have a government, and we're supposed to have government, supposed to have nations, borders, right? You therefore have a right, a natural law right. And remember, it doesn't say thou shalt not kill. It says thou shalt not murder. You do have a right to protect others. You do have the right to protect your country, your civilization. So that is outside of the scope of Christianity, but government should be shaped by Christian morality. Am I making sense? That is. And
Yeah.
The Christians struggled with we need to go to war to defend our brothers and sisters and our lands, but we're Christians, we don't want to. But they realize, look, it's one of our, as a moral duty, we need to, because if we don't stop these people, they will kill us all. They will wipe us out and they will take everything. And this is not moral either. You have a right to exist. Your thoughts, that is?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the questions that there has been some struggle throughout the Christian history of, kind of finding the right balance. Um, so, if you look at either extreme, then you're going to have, it's going to clearly create some huge problems. Like, you look at the atheist interpretation that the Christians always are just waging war and blah, blah, blah. Well, that doesn't match with reality. It doesn't match with scripture. But, you look at the other extreme and say that Christians should be completely pacifist all the time. And you find very few people throughout history who have supported that. And, it's an obvious problem, because if you're pacifist and someone else isn't, well, congratulations. You're now their
You're a victim.
servants or slaves, depending on how they view you.